In this video, we're talking all about whether you should take insurance in your private practice. Private pay or insurance? Which should you do? Do you want the money or do you want the reliability? All right, so we're talking all about whether you should take insurance in your private practice. So you might be a counselor, maybe you're a massage therapist, maybe you're a chiropractor, maybe you're a psychiatrist. Whatever your private practice is, it's a big decision whether you want to go the route of private pay, which I did in my group practice, or if you want to go the route of insurance. Now, each side has its own pros and cons. But the first thing I want you to think about is, where do you enjoy your time? Do you like marketing, networking, branding, building up who you are as a practice? Or does that feel overwhelming and draining? Or do you like building systems and processes and making sure things flow like they should, really detail-oriented, and you like to have that consistency? Those are two kind of different ways of thinking about things. And it doesn't mean that you have to be on one side or the other. But when you're putting your time into building a private pay practice, some of the things you need to know is it takes more work in regards to networking, branding, blogging, getting your name out there. Because you have to prove to people your worth for people to pay out of pocket and then submit for their insurance. Compared to the medical model most people are used to, they're used to just showing up, paying a copay, maybe paying part of their deductible, and having you be a provider through that insurance company. So what are some of the pros of a private pay practice? Well, some of the pros of this is that you can charge whatever you want. Whatever your value is. If you're getting busy, you can raise your rates. You don't have to worry about waiting 60 days to get paid. So you get paid right away. Also, you get to really focus in on a smaller amount of clients in a certain specialty. That's how you're going to be able to bill more for your private pay practice. Also, there's a lot less paperwork, and oftentimes there is much less risk of an audit, because not only would you be risking an audit with the IRS, which no matter what business you have, you risk that, but there's often insurance audits as well where you may have to repay money if you did things incorrectly. And so there's a lot less risk in some areas too. It's a lot easier if you're not comfortable with electronic medical records to have paper records or to just have an electronic medical record, but that's not going to an insurance company. Some of the cons of private pay, though, are that you have to work a lot harder. You have to be out there. You have to prove your worth. You have to be able to say, here's the transition people experience. So one formula that we'll put right down here is I help, and then we're going to have pain, to, and then outcome, through methods. And so that would be like, I help kids who keep getting kicked out of the classroom to have a plan for success in school through individual counseling and group services. So that's a great way to articulate your worth and the pain and the transition that people go through. Now, what about insurance? Well, some of the pros of insurance are that you're put onto this panel, your name is out there, and doctors and other people it's easier for them to refer to you. Also, it's a lot easier to scale sometimes because you bring someone in, add them to the panel, you've already got that flow of people coming in through that. You don't have to articulate your worth quite as well. So you may want to be a generalist. You may want to kind of be out there and just say, we help everybody. Now, I wouldn't recommend that even if you are taking insurance, but if you want to do that, it's a little bit easier if you're on insurance. Also, a lot of these systems can start to build and grow outside of yourself. And sometimes having a business that has all those systems set up is more profitable in the long run. You can add 30, 40, 50 clinicians to your practice a lot easier than maybe having each of those be an individual private pay. What are some of the cons? Well, oftentimes you don't get paid for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, depending on the insurance company. You really have to make sure you do your billing correctly. So you probably should hire a medical biller, which shouldn't cost more than 5%. If you're paying more than 5%, you're paying too much. Right here, Practice Solutions, they're who we recommend. They are awesome. We know them personally. Also, in addition to that, you're going to need to have electronic medical records. So something like therapy notes, another link here, therapy notes. You're going to need to have all sorts of other systems. And if those systems break down or don't get a pre-authorization, you don't get paid. And so oftentimes those errors cost you a lot of money. So it's up to you. Think about that as well. You want to think about your community. Each community has a different dynamic in regards to insurance, but also think about how many clients you actually need to be profitable. For most people, that's going to be 15 to 20 weekly clients for you to have great sessions. Now, if you want to grow and scale, that's obviously going to increase, but the amount of people in any community you need to help is often very small. So if you want more resources like this, we have over 30 resources over at practiceofthepractice.com/resources. Click the link below right here. That's going to take you over there, and they're totally free. We would love to help you out even more. Have a great week.